A UK-based immigrant is stuck 4,000 miles away from the UK with no means of returning back to the UK to join his son. This young man is in shock and he still cannot believe what happened to him. He accused his partner who lives in the UK of using him, whilst the partner said that she doesn't believe that this guy genuinely loves her. Both of them are accusing each other. I want to know what your views are. Today's story is extremely important. I'm sure someone can learn a lesson from this story. This gentleman in question came to the UK almost 3 years ago on the carer's visit. He settled he was working as a carer. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on this sunny day. My name is Francis. On this channel, we share content about migration and we talk about the things that affect immigrants on a day-to-day basis. Hopefully, someone can learn from this gentleman's experience. The guy was working as a carer in his home country. Before he came to the UK, he was working as an engineer. He wasn't happy working as a carer in the UK. He was looking for a job in the engineering sector. He met a lady who is about 38 years of age, and this gentleman is 42 years of age. They both came from the same country. The lady had a son, and the father of the son wasn't involved in the son's life. They both met online. This lady is an investment banker. She works in the city of London. She's a high-flying lady. She's got a very, very good job. When they met online. The guy was traveling all the way from up north where he lives to down south where this lady lives to see this lady. Because this lady has a son who at that time, the son was 2.5 years old. It was hard for the lady to travel up north to see this gentleman, and therefore he was the one that was doing most of the traveling. The lady at that time was working mainly from home, and she found out later that she was pregnant. When she found out that she was pregnant for this gentleman, the lady now suggested that this gentleman should move from up north where he lives and move down south to come and stay with him. This gentleman's friend, initially they said to him, look, you do not know this girl very well. How are you going to move from where you live to come and live with somebody that you barely know very well? And at the same time, this gentleman had just had an interview and he was offered a job in engineering. So the company that offered him the job offered to give him a 5 years residential permit, which means that he will have security working as an engineer, which is something that he's always wanted to do. And at the same time, he will be able to, that will lead him to permanent resident. But the lady brought the idea of the guy moving to down south to come and stay with her. This guy asked his family in his home country to go and check the lady's family's house, to check everything. The report that they gave him was very positive, and this guy felt reassured. According to this guy, he said, well, I know this girl's family. I know where she lives. The parents, they are responsible. I think this is somebody that I can trust. So this guy, he left the offer of a job that he was given. He left everything. His friends who were advising him not to make this move, that is too soon, that him and this girl, they don't know each other. They asking questions like, where is the son's father? How come the son's father is not involved in the son's life? And whenever the guy asked this lady the question about the son's father, the lady is not happy to talk about it. The lady kept saying, look, the relationship with that man wasn't very good. The man is not a nice man. He's a nasty man. The guy said the woman is very, very negative whenever he asks her about the son's father. But because the lady was pregnant and the lady had just gotten a new job, still working in the city, but the new job will require the lady to be coming to office more, the guy now offered to say, okay, I'm going to move. Let me move down south, come and stay with this lady because she's struggling with childcare with the 2 years old child that she has. Let me move down south. He left everything. He did not even tell his company on time. He just said, look, I'm going to take some time off work, to care for somebody. And he moved in with this lady. This lady now had the child for this guy who happened to be a son. The agreement between the guy and the lady was that when the child is born, the lady will put the guy's name will be on the birth certificate as a father, and the lady will now apply for this gentleman as the father of the child. She will now apply for 2.5 years stay. That was the agreement between them. After they've applied, the lady and the guy will then go back to their home country because the lady said she wanted them to have a wedding in their home country. Once they have the 2.5 years stay for the guy, they will now move to their home country to now have a proper wedding that all their family members will be able to attend. Listen to this story because this story is very important. This thing can happen to a lot of people. When the guy moved and they had the baby, the guy said he noticed that the lady changed. She started changing. When they had the baby, after a few weeks, the guy said, look, let's go to the registry to have my name on the birth certificate. He said the lady was very reluctant initially. The lady would say, today, tomorrow, we'll go. After some time, the guy just said, look, we need to go. So eventually, he persuaded the lady to go and put his name on the birth certificate, which they did. When they did that, but when they did put the name on the birth certificate, before all this process, the guy's employer had revoked his work permit because the guy wasn't attending work. He did not take up the new job that he was offered. He did not communicate to his employer that, look, I'm not coming again. He just said, I'm taking some time off. So they revoked his work permit. So this guy was then living in the UK illegally, but the lady said, don't worry. Once the baby is born, because I am a British citizen, this child will give you 2.5 years as they have agreed. The guy felt there's no problem. He stopped communicating with his friends who were telling him not to move in with this lady. He just stopped communicating with all his friends. So once he has his name on the birth certificate, the next stage was for them to now apply for the 2.5 years for this gentleman. The lady said initially they need to see a lawyer who's going to do everything for them. The guy now said, okay, because he's not working again, the lady was not the one that he was relying on the lady to fund everything. The lawyer told them, look, this thing is going to cost, this is how much it's going to cost. The lady said, I don't have money to do it. Instead of us getting 2.5 years for you, and once when we're planning to go to our home country to marry, why not we just go to our home country to marry? Once we marry in our home country, the lady said, I am working. I will file for you. You will be given spouse visa, which means that in 5 years' time, you will qualify to apply for indefinite leave to remain. For those outside the UK, indefinite leave to remain, that is the permanent resident. The lady said, instead of you to go through this, let's just go to our home country. That means that we're not going to waste the over 1,500 that this lawyer is telling us this thing is going to cost. Instead of wasting this money for you to get 2.5 years and we not go back, let's just go to the home country. And it means that we're not going to waste money. So the guy said he agreed with the plan, thinking that, yes, at least this is going to save money. We're not going to waste money if we do this. Let's just go. So the guy now went to his embassy in London. He got what they call traveling certificate because he was not in the UK illegal. He got traveling certificate. The lady bought a flight for him. He was the first person that went to his home country. He went to his home country. The lady flew in with the 2 children. They now have 2 children. Flew in there. and they've already set a date for the wedding. This guy was excited, thinking that, yeah, everything is working well. Yes, the lady, she's now in back, she's there now, we're getting married. When the lady arrived in the home country, this is the shock that I'm going to share with you. If you know anyone who will benefit from this video, please kindly share this video with them. What happened to this lady and this guy? It can happen to anyone. They are both accusing each other of wanting to use each other. They both accusing each other of insincerity. Leave your comment in the comment section. I want to know what your views are. If you're seeing value for what you're hearing, please kindly give this video a like so that other people can learn from this experience, because this is a lesson that we can all learn from. So when they go to their home country, they fix a date for the wedding. The guy fixed a date for the wedding before the lady arrived. So the lady arrived. They went to see the family. The lady said she now found that when they arrived in the home country, they went to see the family. She saw a child that looked exactly like this guy in the guy's family home. She saw this child, this son. She said the son was about 9 years going to 10 years old. So she asked this gentleman, said, look, this child, it looks like carbon copy of you. Who is this child? The guy said initially did not say anything, but later the lady now said, who is this child? Is this from your mom's? Is this your mom's son? The guy now reluctantly, well, this was my son. I had this son when I was younger. You know, I had this son about 9 to 10 years ago. You know, the lady said, why did you not tell me you had a son? The guy said, well, I didn't tell you I had a son. He didn't really have any excuse to give. So the lady said, when the guy told her that, and she has in the past when they were in the UK, there were times that in her mind she was thinking that the guy wasn't faithful, and she felt that the guy could be having an affair, but she didn't really have the proof. So when the lady now saw this child, and the guy said, well, admitted it was my son, guess what the lady did? The lady now said, okay, we're still going to go ahead with the wedding anyway, but what we need to do is that I'm going to go to my family, spend some time with my family, and we will have the wedding on the day. The guy said they allow everything. They paid for everything. The lady gave him the impression that she was on board with the marriage, that she wanted them to go ahead with the marriage, only for the lady to wake up one morning. The lady somebody called her with a private number with Ted, and he said, I'm back in the UK with the children. And the guy said, what? The lady said, I am back in the UK with the children because I am not going ahead with this wedding because I realized that you're not being faithful. I realized that you're not being, I doubted your sincerity of this marriage. I had my concern. And the guy said, well, you made me to lose everything. If I am not sincere, I had the opportunity of getting a work permit. 5 years given to me to work as an engineer, something that I've always wanted to do, and you allowed me to lose that opportunity. I came to stay with you so that you can return, you can go back to work. I was caring for your son. Became your babysitter only for you to not do this to me. So the guy is in tears now. The lady is saying, look, I'm not going to go ahead with this wedding because I do not believe that you genuinely wanted to marry me for the reason that you stated. And both of them now, they are there. So when I spoke with both of them, I felt sorry for both parties, because the lady is saying, well, I wanted to go ahead with the wedding despite the fact that I had some concerns. I wanted to go ahead with the wedding, but what I saw broke the camel back, and therefore I cannot go ahead with this wedding because I do not believe that you genuinely wanted to be with me for the reasons you stated. And the guy is now saying, oh, you do not want to go ahead with the wedding in the first place. And now he's now calling his friends whom he has disengaged from to send him money. So this is why I'm saying there are lessons that we can all learn from those two couples' experience. The question I asked both of them, I said to the lady, I said, look, this guy is now in their home country. He cannot return back to the UK because he doesn't have British passport. He doesn't have a work spouse visa to come back to the UK. What about the child? The lady said, well, if he wants to be in the child's life, can call the child, he can have video call with the child, but she doesn't want to be in the child's life again. She's not going to stop him from being in the child's life, but she's not going to be the one, and the child is not going to be the reason that he will come back to the UK. That if he wants to come to the UK, he can find a way to come back to the UK and be involved in the child's life, but she doesn't want him to use that child as a passport to come to the UK. So the guy now is in disarray. He is stuck. He cannot return back to the UK. He said to me, what pains me that I only packed a few clothes that I'm going to use until the wedding and apply to come back. I never knew that I was going back to my home country for a few days. I never knew that that was my trip, that I'm not coming back to the UK. And the guy is in tears right now. His family cannot believe, because he said the little money that he had was what he spent, making sure that the wedding goes well, because the lady said, I wanted the church wedding, I wanted this, I wanted the. He said the little money he had saved, he saved everything towards this wedding. He even said his elder brother in America sending money to make sure that the wedding lived up to the lady's expectation, because the lady was saying, I want this, I want this. The brother spent a lot of money to make sure that the wedding is good. And now this guy, the money they spent is gone. The guy cannot come back to the UK. He has lost the opportunity to work in engineering. He has lost 5 years residential permit that he was given. And this guy has been in the UK now for almost 3 years. He only needed 2 more years to qualify for indefinite leave to remain if he had stayed where he was. And now he cannot get everything. Everything he has worked for is gone. And this guy said, before I came to the UK, he was doing very well in his home country, and now he cannot go back to his own job. So his life now is ruined, is a mess. So this is a story do you think the lady acted right? Or do you think the guy made a mistake by not telling the girl? I want to know what your views are. These are lessons that we can all learn from. Like I said before, what happened to this guy can happen to anyone. So please kindly share this video with anyone that you know will benefit. Subscribe to this channel if you appreciate this content like this. And do not forget to give this video a like so that other people can see it and learn from it. Leave your comment in the comment section. It's very important. If you have any story that you want to share with our team, you can contact us on our WhatsApp number, which is +44 0754 8804402. I repeat, +44 0754 8804402. If you're contacting us from the UK, remove the 0 and do not call our number. We will not respond. All you need to do is to send us a WhatsApp message. Go straight to the point. Someone from the team will contact you. Share this video with anyone that you know will benefit. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Give this video a like to show appreciation to myself. Leave your comment in the comment section. Do you think the guy is at fault, or do you think the lady? I want to know. Have a nice weekend, guys. I love you. God bless.